So my name is Vance and I'm the Experiences and Partnerships Curator as part of the National Trust. I'm sure most of you are aware of what we do in the National Trust, but as a quick little recap, ultimately we are a conservation charity. We look after lots of different lovely spaces throughout Northern Ireland. We have coastline, we have parklands, we have houses, and we have lovely gardens as well. So we're very lucky, but our two main strategies really are to really kind of connect into the local landscape and really think about our ambitions around everyone welcome and climate action. We also though want to make sure that we're being really relevant to the communities that we serve, and also to just give people amazing experiences and service throughout all of our sites in Northern Ireland. To achieve this, we do need to be audience-led and visitor-focused, and I'm just going to talk to you a little bit today about how we do that. So, why be audience-led and visitor-focused? Well, really we do need to ensure that we understand our audience needs. We need to take into account what our audiences are telling us and really cater for what they want. We are lucky in the National Trust to have a lot of rich data, and through that data we can really identify gaps and think of when we can attract new audiences, but we're also very lucky to know who our audiences are. And how better can we connect with our audiences? We do that by thinking about supporting our visitor growth. By better facilities and our offer, we can grow our visitor numbers, but we also can grow advocacy for our visitors too. This will help inform visitor engagement and will make people be connected to our place and our stories of place. It will improve our presentation and our access standards as well, wayfinding, better overall service and our access to our sites. And we can enhance our service standards too. By doing this, we look at training our staff, making sure from the minute that you come to a National Trust place that you feel welcome. And also it connects to our programming and our experiences. So programming for us is really important. We want to make sure that we're offering lots of different things to all of the different audiences that come to our place. And we want to make sure that we have a high standard of visitor experience throughout. So how do we do this? Well, we have a lot of tools at our disposal. So we have a visitor satisfaction survey. This survey looks at historical data and current data within the National Trust. And we can look at things like visitor types, we can even see who brings a dog, life stage, and also welcome and service. And the teams find this really useful. There's also a comment card section within that and a verbatim section. So they can really hone into what visitors are telling them, and they can think about how they can make those improvements across their visitor journey. This lovely colourful box here is our audience segmentation. A bit like TNI and Tourism Ireland, we have audience segmentation, and our main two ones would be explorer families. So that would be people that want to get out and about with their families, into nature, multi-generational families, and our curious minds. So they would kind of be older adults that are really interested in our stories of place and the stories that we have to tell through the National Trust. And we like to look at them and see how are we connecting to them, how can we provide experiences for them, but also we're looking at who are we not connecting to and who can we really think of who we can connect to in the future. And a visitor journey toolkit, now these are an internal kind of initiative that we have. We have them for pay for entry sites and we have them for outdoor sites as well. And they're really useful for the teams to use, and they're literally seeing your site through a visitor lens. So what our teams will do is they'll go out as a group and they will walk the site literally from the car park to the arrival, right through to the welcome, to the trails. And they will look at it as the visitor sees it. And it is a really good tool for auditing, for constantly improving and thinking of how we can improve that service throughout our overall sites. And experience design is an internal term as well, but it's a bit like spatial mapping. I'm sure a lot of you have done it. We use it for the kind of larger scale projects where we're looking at, is the car park in the right place? You know, is our entrance even in the right place? So we would use it for things like that, and it's really good. There's a whole section on that about audience research to really ensure whatever we are planning has the visitor and the audience at the heart of it. And membership data, well, we are lucky that we have a lot of membership data in the National Trust, and we can tell lots of things like how often a member comes to visit us, their drive time, their life stage as well. So it's really good for us to be able to hone in on that. But we're also conscious that we want to have data on payers as well and not just our members. We've worked really closely with our volunteer and community participation consultant this year to look at our NISRA data and our community insights. And this has been so insightful to us to look at our places and look at the local communities around it and see how we can really try and work with those communities and make our places more accessible for them as well. And as I said about comment cards earlier, the teams use these all the time. They're so useful. They're kind of good for those quick wins, looking at the trends that you can see that you might improve on, and they are just a really good thing for our teams to use. And we can also check our social media, Google review, TripAdvisor. It's all rich data, use it, it's there. And last year we actually did an omnibus survey with our marketing consultants as well, which was really looking at Northern Ireland and how people view the National Trust in Northern Ireland and our brand awareness. And it was really insightful for us because sometimes we have a lot of things that come from our central team in England, but we wanted to really hone down onto our region. And I'm just going to go really quickly through a couple of quick case studies. So Crom, some of you may have been to, our lovely site, one of our sites in our Fermanagh portfolio. They get about 25,000 visitors a year. And again, their kind of key audience segments are explorer families and curious minds. They've always had a holiday offer at Crom. There's rowing boats, there's canoeing, there's lots of that family time together, there's camping. But we really realised that there was areas of Crom that we hadn't opened up to the public, we hadn't opened up to the local community before, and it was something we really wanted to try and do and just make that site more accessible for visitors, but mainly for the local community as well. So we worked in partnership, it's been going on for about 5 years now, with the Loch Erin partnership, landscape partnership, help, I'm sure there's maybe some of you in the room today. And I know the team at Crom have found that to be a really, really good partnership. We've been able to work with them and they've helped us with events and estate visits, everything from bushcraft there as well. So it's been a really rich partnership to have, and for us to be able to do it in partnership is really what we're about in the National Trust. And it's linked to that spirit of place. I think someone mentioned this earlier. It's like that essence of space. What's important? What is the key thing? Crom is about tranquility and the wildlife. And we wanted to make sure everything we did really connects to that spirit of place, that it's aligned to the landscape and to the natural landscape, and that we're not putting anything in there that's going to jar. So we opened up that increased public access, 10.5 kilometres of new trails, and really wanted to celebrate the heritage of that place. And by doing that, that really did improve and give that greater community participation for Crom. And this is just some of the things that they've done. So a lovely new map was designed. Again, we're about making it easy. We want our visitors to be able to access and navigate the site easily. They have a beautiful new structured play it's totally accessible. And then we have our outdoor signage guidelines as well, so that's what that little picture is. But it's to try and make it easier. We want our visitors to come and the community to come and just be able to get around the site, navigate, good wayfinding, good signage. All of those basics really, really do help the visitors and your community have a good day out. And they worked really hard with schools and community groups to give this sort of outdoor classroom. We want them to connect with nature, feel really, into the space. And again, more of that partnership working that we did with LELP was so helpful to us because they were able to introduce us to new partners that we could work with and plan things to do in the future as well. And the holiday offer that I mentioned at the start, we're hoping that these new trails and all of the work that we've done with natural play and structured play will give that more of that sustainable tourism for that holiday offer as well. And then we've got Mount Stewart. So some of you as well may know our site down the Ards Peninsula there. And Mount Stewart get about 218,000 visitors a year. And again, we're looking at those sort of explorer families and curious minds as our top 2 audience segments. They have about 900 acres remaining, and they have 22 kilometres of trails. They've got a house, gardens, and they've got F&B, they've got retail. So as you can see, it's quite a varied site and there's quite a lot going on. And to manage that is quite difficult as a property team because you're trying to cater for lots of different people. The same people who are coming to the trails may not be the same people that want to come to the house. So we really need to think about how we're being visitor focused and think about how we can lead for our audiences. And the team really do use a lot of those tools that I talked about earlier to gather that audience and visitor insight into what the people that are coming to their places, but also who they want to attract as new audiences. And it's really important to do that. They use that journey toolkit, that audit, but even though that's something we have, you could do it easily without having our framework. It's literally just looking at your site through a visitor lens and constantly improving and maintaining what you already have. It helps to really inform our annual programming as well. So Mount Stewart, as I said, they're catering for lots of different types of audiences, and people want to use that site in a different way, and we need to think about our outdoor experiences, and our core and seasonal programming is really important to us. We have very high member retention, so we need to make sure that we're constantly offering a good core and seasonal programming, but also they would focus on creative and cultural programming as well, which is also done in the outdoors too. So there's a real mix of things happening to try to cater for lots of different people. And across lots of our sites, we've thankfully improved our accessibility. Most of our pay for entry sites have induction loops, braille, mobility scooters now, but we know we can always do more. And Mount Stewart actually just recently got a new changing places as well, which has just been really, the feedback's been great, and we want to try and do that in more of our sites. So they've got the walking trails, as I said, 22 kilometres of walking trails. We just need to make sure good wayfinding, good presentation, lots of signage throughout to just help visitors, and also just making sure again that whatever we do fits the natural landscape. We don't want to have loads of signage everywhere. It's just to support the visitor. They have a lovely new natural play area that they've just refurbed, and as I said, they're one of our sites that would have the highest member retention. So we need to really change our offer and mix it up, because people are coming back and we need to give them reasons to come back and not go to the competition. And volunteering as well. There's a tree nursery now up at Mount Stewart where we've seen a real influx of people from the local community wanting to get involved and help with tree planting. And we also have a children and young people hub as well, which really connects to that local schools and community. So again, it's about being visitor focused, but also serving the communities around us too. So that's me nearly. In summary, a couple of things just maybe to take away. Understand your audiences, think about who they are, who you're not connecting with, and really listen to them. I think that's kind of key. And don't be afraid to ask for visitor feedback. It can be scary sometimes. Sometimes we don't want to know the negatives, but actually you can't turn it into a positive if you don't know there's something wrong. So I would urge you to constantly ask the questions and really see your places through a visitor lens and be that really sort of visitor-centric approach. And be intentional and purposeful. So it's not, unfortunately, a tick box exercise that we just do that once and then it's done. We're constantly looking at our visitors. Visitor trends change, motivations change, and we need to make sure that we are really catering to their different needs and constantly improving and maintaining what we have at our sites. And we could not do it if we didn't work in partnerships. Over the past 2 years, we've created lots of partnerships throughout the National Trust, and they help us with everything from our outdoor experiences to our creative programming, and we really do need to work with partners and the local communities to ensure that what we're offering is a really overall high quality visitor experience throughout all of our sites. And that's it. Thank you for listening. See you later on.